A warm welcome to all our viewers. I'm your host Pratiksha Mishra and you're watching another episode of South Asia Focus. Let's begin the show. India's growing global economic footprint is finding reflection both overseas and at home. Even as New Delhi and Washington signal a reset in trade ties with a sharp cut in US tariffs on Indian goods, the Union Budget 2026-27 lays out an ambitious domestic growth roadmap. With a strong push for manufacturing, MSMEs, infrastructure, and youth led development, the government aims to leverage improved global access into sustained, inclusive economic growth.
India-US economic relations are gaining fresh momentum, with both countries underlining their shared commitment to strengthening trade and investment ties. The latest move by the United States to significantly reduce tariffs on made-in-India products marks an important step towards deeper economic cooperation and expanded market access for Indian exporters. The revised tariff rate of 18% is expected to enhance competitiveness across key sectors, boost exports, and reinforce India's position as a trusted global trade partner.
जो ट्रेड डील यूनाइटेड स्टेट्स ऑफ अमेरिका के साथ फाइनलाइज की है वो हमारे सभी पड़ोसी, सभी आसपास के देश, सभी जो देश हमारे साथ स्पर्धा करते हैं उन सभी देशों में सबसे बढ़िया डील भारत को मिली है। आप सबको, हम सबको मिली है, जो देशवासियों के उज्जवल भविष्य के लिए शुभ संकेत लाती है।
Markets have welcomed the development, with experts pointing to improved investor sentiment and renewed confidence among foreign portfolio investors who had remained cautious amid prolonged trade uncertainties.
One of the reasons why the FPIs have been holding back for all entire 2025 was largely due to the trade uncertainties, because it's not only the tariffs which matter, but also the signals that it gives, saying that India and US were kind of going apart. Now this deal decisively puts both the countries together.
The trade announcement coincided with External Affairs Minister S. Jaishankar's visit to the United States, where he took part in the Critical Minerals Ministerial. The discussions focused on strengthening supply chains and clean energy cooperation, with India supporting the new 4J initiative.
Critical minerals is a very important subject. The US has been a partner for some years. Today they launched a new initiative called Forge, which we have supported. It's a kind of successor to the Mineral Security Partnership. So I think overall, to me it was a good meeting, very productive, very outcome-oriented, very business-like.
With trade arrangements now in place with the US, UK and EU, India is better positioned than many East Asian economies that rely heavily on Chinese investment. While the move opens significant economic and geopolitical opportunities, its long-term value for India will hinge on the fine print, preservation of strategic autonomy, and the ability to convert improved market access into sustained export-led growth. The renewed momentum in India-US trade comes at a time when New Delhi is reinforcing its growth strategy at home. India's Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman formally presented the Union Budget 2026-2027 in Parliament, unveiling a comprehensive roadmap to strengthen the economy and promote inclusive development. Prepared for the first time at Kartavya Bhavan, the budget sets out the government's first Kartavya, its core duty to drive progress through targeted interventions across 6 key priority areas. These include scaling up manufacturing in 7 strategic and frontier sectors, rejuvenating legacy industries, creating champion MSMEs, delivering a strong push to infrastructure, ensuring long-term energy security, and developing city economic regions. Highlighting the focus on jobs, regional development and inclusive growth, the Prime Minister said the budget places special emphasis on empowering the youth and strengthening states across the country.
मैं भारत के युवाओं को विशेष तौर पर इस बजट की बहुत बहुत बधाई देता हूं, क्योंकि इससे एम्प्लॉयमेंट जनरेशन को बड़ा बूस्ट मिलेगा। मुझे बहुत खुशी है कि इस बजट में टूरिज्म और विशेषकर नॉर्थ ईस्ट में टूरिज्म को बढ़ावा देने के लिए भी ठोस कदम उठाए गए हैं। भारत के अलग अलग राज्यों को ताकतवर बनाकर संतुलित विकास की नींव भी इस बजट में मजबूत की गई है।
Building on this vision, the budget focuses on agriculture and manufacturing, launching a national mission on high-yielding seeds to boost research, improve seed availability, and enhance farm productivity, alongside a national manufacturing mission covering small, medium, and large industries to further the Make in India initiative.
We are inspired by three kartavya. Our first kartavya is to accelerate and sustain economic growth by enhancing productivity and competitiveness and building resilience to volatile global dynamics. Our second kartavya is to fulfill aspirations of our people and build their capacity, making them strong partners in India's path to prosperity. Our third kartavya, aligned with our vision of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, is to ensure that every family, community, region, and sector has access to resources, amenities, and opportunities for meaningful participation.
With strengthened trade ties with the US and a forward-looking reform-driven union budget at home, India is positioning itself for a new phase of economic growth. The combination of improved global market access, strategic manufacturing and infrastructure initiatives, and youth-focused development programs is expected to drive investment, boost exports, and create jobs across the country.
Moving on. As Bangladesh heads towards a crucial national elections, concerns over law and order, voter participation, and political stability are taking center stage. Analysts warn that how authorities manage security, including violence and minority protection, could determine the credibility of the vote and public trust in the democratic process. A report.
Bangladesh, a nation with a long history of politically charged elections, is preparing for another pivotal moment as voters head to the polls next month. Concerns over election day violence and possible post-election unrest are once again dominating public debate. Political analysts think that maintaining law and order will be critical not only to ensure voter turnout but also to safeguard the credibility of the electoral process.
Bangladesh's election always had the genesis of violence. It's not something new, and we are not something accustomed with. This is something we know very well. But what is essential is how the government of the day will control violence during the day of election and subsequently post-election. And that remains to be seen.
Analysts also warn that voter confusion could increase as the parliamentary election coincides with a constitutional referendum, potentially slowing the polling process. Voter turnout remains a major concern, particularly if supporters of key political groups choose to stay away from voting centers. Furthermore, low participation could weaken the inclusiveness of the election and raise fresh questions about its legitimacy.
We want everyone to be a part of the election, and in that case, whether political affiliates or perhaps the supporters of the former ruling party will come to the voting centers is another issue. So if they don't come, then we will probably lose some voters, which may affect the overall voter turnout.
Beyond turnout, security for minority communities has emerged as another sensitive issue ahead of the vote. Right groups warn that periods of political uncertainty in Bangladesh have often been accompanied by targeted attacks, particularly in rural areas. The interim government has acknowledged these risks while calling for calm and restraint from all sides. Election observers have also flagged new challenges, including the misuse of artificial intelligence and online misinformation, which they say could influence both voter behavior and public perception of the polls.
It is possible that some violence will take place, but the important thing is that by and large it must be peaceful, one. Second thing is that the authorities, the Election Commission and the law enforcement authorities must take immediate steps so that these don't go out of hand. Some incidents will happen, but that should be very limited and immediate actions need to be taken.
As millions prepare to vote, including many first-time voters, questions are growing over how meaningful the election will be without the participation of the Awami League, one of Bangladesh's major political forces. Observers believe that even if polling remains largely peaceful, an election lacking broad political inclusion could struggle to command political confidence at home and credibility abroad.
Time now for Asia This Week, the stories from across the continent.
Sacred Buddhist relics from India were exhibited in their first ever international exposition in Sri Lanka's capital city of Colombo, attracting large crowds of devotees on 5th of February. The Devni Mori relics were brought to Sri Lanka for a public exposition, fulfilling a commitment made last year by Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi to deepen the spiritual and cultural bonds between the two nations. New Year's Fire Review of Tokyo was held to show latest firefighting facility and activity. It aims to make citizens relief and accelerate awareness of disaster prevention. 2,910 fire extinguisher staff and more than 100 firefighting vehicles on the ground and sea, also above sky. Today's progressive performance of fire disaster prevention made Tokyo citizens relief and strengthened awareness to prepare disaster. The message is not only for Japan but also overseas, including supportive contribution. Bangkok residents are hoping to see change in the new government as Thailand heads to a nationwide election on February 8th, with government formation expected to hinge on post-election talks. Thailand has experienced multiple coups and court rulings that have reshaped governments over the past 2 decades, with coalition negotiation often determining who ultimately takes power.
As Pakistan observes Kashmir Solidarity Day, the narrative it projects contrasts sharply with realities on the ground in territories under its illegal control. In Pakistan-occupied Jammu Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, allegations of political suppression, enforced disappearances, and systematic denial of basic rights persist. Critics argue the annual ritual serves less as solidarity and more as a distraction from Islamabad's deepening human rights record and rising local dissent.
In Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir and Gilgit-Baltistan, daily life is defined by political repression, institutional neglect, and the systematic denial of basic rights. Residents have no constitutional status, no meaningful democratic representation, and no independent judiciary. Peaceful dissent is criminalized, enforced disappearances remain routine, and entire communities live under constant surveillance by Pakistan's security establishment. Despite repeated protests demanding rights, development, and dignity, Islamabad continues to rule these regions through coercion rather than consent. Yet every year on February 5, Pakistan marks what it calls Kashmir Solidarity Day. Officially, Islamabad claims to stand with the people of Jammu and Kashmir. In reality, the observance has become a state-orchestrated spectacle designed to export a narrative of concern while concealing repression in the territories under its own illegal occupation.
So Pakistan, 5th of February is a fraud day. It's a day when Pakistan tries to cover up his sins, its atrocities, its bad governance, in POJK and Gilgit-Baltistan, and it tries to fool its own people in Punjab especially, that as if Pakistan army is the guardian of the cause of Kashmir. There is no Kashmir cause as Pakistan depicts. On the 26th of November, on the 26th of October, on the 26th of October 1947, our King Maharaja Hari Singh signed an instrument of accession with India and joined India. The whole state is part of India, not just Srinagar or Jammu. The whole state of Jammu and Kashmir annexed with was acceded to India according to that document.
While Pakistan projects itself as a defender of Kashmiri rights on international platforms, voices from Gilgit-Baltistan describe a grimly different reality. Political activists say elections are tightly controlled, leaders are jailed or restricted, and dissent is treated as a security threat. Large-scale land acquisitions, demographic manipulation and resource extraction, particularly under the China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, have intensified local anger while residents remain excluded from decision-making over their own future.
Today, we the people of Gilgit-Baltistan declare February the 5th as Kashmir Hypocrisy Day. When Pakistan is carrying out massacre and genocide in occupied Balochistan, when people of Tira Valley in Pashtunistan are being forced out of their homes in snow and rain, when Ali Wazir, Manzoor Pashtun, Maharang Baloch and many others are behind bars and being tortured for demanding basic rights for their people, when our leader Shabir Mayar is confined to his village in occupied Gilgit-Baltistan for peaceful activities, when Baba Jan is not even allowed to participate in upcoming election in Gilgit-Baltistan, when people of POJK in Meerpur and Muzaffarabad recently buried 13 of their loved ones killed by Punjabi police and the Rangers, when our resources are being looted in the name of CPAC and our cultures are near annihilation and extinction.
Human rights groups have repeatedly flagged Pakistan's occupied regions as legal black holes where constitutional protections do not apply and accountability mechanisms are absent. Gilgit-Baltistan remains outside Pakistan's constitutional framework, while Pakistan-occupied Jammu and Kashmir operates under heavy military oversight, leaving residents without the rights Islamabad claims to champion elsewhere. As Pakistan grapples with economic collapse, political instability and growing unrest across Baloch, Pashtun and peripheral regions, the contrast across the line of control has become increasingly stark. On the Indian side of Jammu and Kashmir, infrastructure expansion, rising tourism, elected local bodies and integration into national development programs have reshaped the region's trajectory. While challenges remain, the emphasis has shifted towards governance, connectivity and economic participation, underscoring the widening gap between development and denial, democracy and repression.
The Indian film industry, home to Bollywood and diverse regional cinema, mesmerizes audiences worldwide with colorful storytelling, soulful music, and unforgettable performances. Today, we take you on a journey across India's thriving entertainment landscape, where regional cinemas are rising, collaborations are flourishing, and the industry is crafting a powerful global identity.
India boasts one of the world's most diverse film ecosystems. From Telugu and Tamil cinema to Gujarati and Punjabi films, each industry carries a unique cultural voice. What was once regional cinema now sets national trends, driven by strong storytelling and technical excellence. The growth of cinema, soap operas, and drama series has fueled the rise of studios and film cities. In Punjab, this is evident at HLV Film City in Mohali, a hub for filmmakers and production houses. With modern studios, versatile sets, and professional facilities, it supports films, music videos, advertisements, and pre-wedding shoots. Today, Punjabi cinema resonates far beyond state borders.
Mohali and like Hyderabad, like so many other places, like Jaipur is also coming up with so many film locations and all that. I think it's making it easier for people in certain places to be able to shoot their projects in their existing I would say areas. Coming to a place like Mohali would be more cost effective for that person. At the same time वो अपने ड्रीम्स को फुलफिल कर सकता है कि भाई मेरे को फिल्म बनानी है, मैं मोहाली में आ गया हूँ, मेरे पास पैसे जो है थोड़े कम है बॉम्बे के कंपैरिजन में, एंड आई कैन मेक अ फिल्म इन मोहाली कंपैरेटिवली, एंड आई थिंक आई कैन गेट अ सिमिलर आउटकम इफ माय टीम इज स्किल्ड.
Punjabi films, soap operas, and music videos are capturing audiences both in India and abroad. With the growing demand for quality shooting locations, facilities like HLV Film City have become a boon, offering professional spaces, versatile sets, and top-notch technical support for filmmakers and creators.
मेरे को ऐसा पिछले 3-4 साल में चेंज लग रहा है कि पहले इधर से हम जाते थे, ट्रैवल करते थे, तो उधर हमको शूट करना पड़ता था. अभी क्या पंजाब में बहुत सारी फैसिलिटीज़ हैं, बहुत सारा क्रू है. मेरे को नहीं लगता कि आज की डेट में कुछ भी हमें कहीं और स्टेट से कुछ इंपोर्ट करने की ज़रूरत पड़ती है. तो मेरे को ऐसा लगता है कि आजकल तो बॉलीवुड के गाने पंजाब के कोरियोग्राफर्स कर रहे हैं, पंजाब के DOPs कर रहे हैं, पंजाब के डायरेक्टर्स कर रहे हैं. सो दे आर अप्रोचिंग अस. सो इट्स अ गुड थिंग.
The Indian film, television, and online entertainment sector generated a remarkable $61.2 billion in 2024, underscoring its massive economic footprint and global cultural impact. The rapidly growing industry also supported around 2.64 million jobs, spanning films, television, and digital content.
बहुत सारी नई टैलेंट पिछले 5-10 सालों में आई है. डायरेक्टर्स में, कैमरामैन्स में, राइटर्स में, बहुत यंगस्टर्स और सब्जेक्ट्स जॉनर्स जो पहले कुछ फिक्स हिस्टोरिकल हुआ करते थे या फोक स्टोरीज हुआ करती थी, उसकी जगह अभी सब्जेक्ट्स में बहुत एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हो रहे हैं और सक्सेसफुल एक्सपेरिमेंट्स हो रहे हैं.
At the heart of India's creative universe is Mumbai, where stories from every corner of the country converge. Big budget productions and content-driven cinema thrive side by side as regional and mainstream films grow together, taking Indian stories to global audiences. From Punjab's film sets to the breathtaking landscapes of Jammu and Kashmir and Gujarat's vibrant cultural backdrops, each region adds its own emotion, texture, and visual language to the ever-evolving canvas of Indian cinema.
From local stories to global screens, Indian cinema continues to shine, one frame at a time. And now we come to the end of this week's episode. See you next week. Till then, goodbye and take care.